What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Welcome to another post-match fan show. Tottenham 3, Norwich 0, 3 back-to-back wins in the Premier League and 2 back-to-back clean sheets. It was more or less a comprehensive victory today. I thought we controlled it very well in the first half. Got that lead going into the second half, and we did drop off a bit in the second half. Norwich were growing in confidence, but as soon as we did score that second goal, albeit against the run of play, we regained that confidence and we regained that kind of we did take the game back. And after that, Norwich didn't really threaten us, did they?
Yeah, there was a period in the game where I was getting worried, 100%.
Yeah.
But once we got that goal from the corner, it kind of put the game to bed a bit. It allowed us that control. And I think we were probably well worth the win. And it's interesting here, comments from Dean Smith after the game. He says, "I'm disappointed and frustrated because our performance deserved more. Lazy punditry might say it was expected, but anyone here would have seen we were in the game. They were more clinical, but I felt at 1-0, we were the better team."
Yeah, and I think he's spot on, to be honest. I think maybe not in the first half, but I think second half, they were the better side for about 15-20 minutes until we got that second goal. So yeah, maybe he does feel a right to be aggrieved at some point, because they did have some chances, some gilt-edged chances that they really should have done better with. And if they had a bit more quality up front, they probably would have got a goal and got back into the game, to be fair to them.
Yeah, and especially that goal, that chance of the Ida at 1-0, which was a real gilt-edged chance. And if that goes in, you're probably thinking it could be a different game. But luckily, we went wide. A few minutes later, we score the second from a corner against run of play, and then that's the end of the game, pretty much. So we got lucky from that point. But I think, by and large, if you take the game as a whole, I think we definitely were the better team. We recreated the better chances, and we probably looked the most dangerous on the ball.
Definitely. One bad thing that happened in the game was Reguilon going off injured quite early in the game. It was said that in the warm-up that he was feeling his thigh, but he did start the game, but then did go off injured. But he's relieved our fears as he's been tweeting after the game. And let's bring up the tweet. I can't read it here, but what does it say? It
says, "I'll be back in a few days. Don't sell me on FPL."
Don't sell him, Sim. Don't sell him, Sim.
Team. I was thinking, oh God, I'm going to have to get rid of him now. Well, he got 0 points for me because he got a yellow card. But all right, I'll keep him in for now. But I'm assuming Thursday will probably be too soon, right?
Yeah, well, we don't know the extent of the injury or anything.
I wouldn't play him Thursday.
Yeah, me as well. But who would you play on Thursday?
I don't know. But I wouldn't. You can't risk, him exacerbating that injury and then all of a sudden he's out for a bunch of Premier League games. I wouldn't risk it, even if it meant playing Davis there or whatever. So I think, I don't know, if I just wouldn't risk him playing there on Thursday. But then Sessegnon can't play there, so it has to be Davis, I think, and then maybe put Rodin in.
All right, well, now it is your chance to have your say on the game. I want to hear all your opinions. The link is in the community section if you do want to come on and have your say. And what a better way to start off with a 3-0 win than the great Brian Daigle.
Go on, Brian.
Good afternoon, boys. How are you?
Afternoon, Brian. How are we?
We are very, very good, and refreshing to have 2 back-to-back wins and 2 back-to-back clean sheets.
Well, 3 back-to-back wins under Conte in the Premier League. So all good. But were you worried at all today?
Not really, no. Not really, no. I mean, like you said, it's a shame about Reguilon. But Oliver Skip, phenomenal. Just absolutely phenomenal. Lucas Moura was great. And again, I think Davies was fantastic again. He
really was. You talk about Ollie Skip, but what a mature performance it was from him today.
I've just tweeted about it. He is now he reminds me very much of Michael Carrick, with the potential to get better than Carrick. I think he's an absolutely incredible talent at such a young age. To be putting out displays like this is incredible.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, but it seems to be, a few of the players who were cast aside or people lost hope with under the previous managers seem to be having a good time there. You got, as you say, Davis. Sessegnon came on and had a good game today. I thought Doherty came on and did pretty well as well. So, are you happy with some of the cast-offs performing well today?
I am, Simeon. I mean, I've always said there's a player in Sanchez. He just needs consistency. He's not the most aesthetically pleasing defender, but he gets the job done. And he had another good game and he's putting in performances. Davies has just been phenomenal under Conte. It's night and day to what we've had with him before. And yeah, the players are doing well, although Tanganga worries me at right wing back now. He really does. I think the position for him is right centre-back or inner centre-back. I just don't think he can do the right wing-back role at all.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of that second half, he was getting done time and time again by Brandon Williams and taken off, and rightly so. And Doherty came on and had a really good performance, I thought.
One of his best, although he did a really good tackle, and then he tried to clip a ball through to Kane, which went out for a throw, which was like, oh my God. I mean, like, where was that even going? But no, it was better. You can't deny that it was definitely better.
Definitely.
Yeah. But in terms of like the overall performance from Spurs, do you think, did 3-0 flatter us? Did we deserve the 3-0 win? But Dean Smith says, at 1-0, he believes Norwich were the better side until, we got the second goal from Sanchez. What was your take on it?
You know what? The start of that second half was quite nerve-wracking because they were coming on top a bit, and there was that missed shot from Pookie that I can't remember the player's name that deflected it a little bit wide, and it was getting a little bit anxious. But as soon as that second goal went in, it was just, that's it, game over. And his son with a smile on his face, you're always going to get the best out of him, and he looks back on bang at it again. So it was good. Moura had one of those games, as you know, me and John Cooper love our Lucas Moura. That goal was something special.
It really was. Top bins, wasn't it? Absolutely top bins. And, we've seen Lucas dribble around players and do those 1-2s. How many times do we see that? Time and time again from Lucas Moura. But he actually provided that end product that we're cool on him to do, and that we know. And that's why I get so frustrated with Lucas, because we know he has that in his locker, but just doesn't do that enough for me.
No, with that you've got, I agree with. I mean, I back him a lot of the time. So I say when he loses the ball and people go on about losing the ball, it's because he's trying to be progressive, because he's trying to go forward. And you can understand if he makes a few missed passes with that. But today, even his little flicks to Son and starting off moves, just everything he tried came off. And like you said, he needs to find a way to do this consistently.
But Brian, another blank from Harry Kane today. How did you assess his performance?
Do you know what? I don't know what to say here, because you can see he's trying, but I just don't understand how he's not performing better now. I mean, he should be scoring a couple of those today without foul. And his passing again looked a bit off. It wasn't his best. I thought in the last few games he's gone up a level each game, and today's kind of stagnated. So he needs to get this goal so bad. I thought the chip was actually going in the first half.
I know, me as well.
I was praying for that to go in, but it was he's still got the alertness to do it, but there's just something not clicking, and he needs to sort this out. And the sad thing is we don't have backup to say, right, Kane, just have half off or sit out for a game. We've got someone to just take the burden off you. We just can't do it at the moment. So it's not looking good, though, is it?
Well, Conte said he can't see a Tottenham lineup without Harry Kane starting, didn't he? So it doesn't look like he's going to be getting any sort of break anytime soon. But
then he also said that Bergwijn's going to play second fiddle to Harry Kane, and maybe he will come in at some point.
Yeah. And you see that lovely little bit of showboating by Bergwijn again, that little back heel. I think it was brilliant as well. For someone that's low in confidence, apparently, he's doing that. Listen,
but apparently he might have picked up an injury at the end, they said.
Bergwijn?
Fantastic. Oh, Jesus Christ. But he comes on for 3 minutes or something. He's almost becoming like Gio Anderton, isn't he? He's it's really not looking good. But it just goes to show with Conte saying that about Kane, that we need to get a competition. We need to sort this striker out in January to give him competition. We have to.
Yeah. On the back of those 3 wins now, you're talking about games where we should be winning, Norwich at home, Brentford at home, Leeds at home as well. The next 4 fixtures are a bit more tough. We go to Brighton next, then we go to Leicester, then Liverpool at home, and then Palace at home. What are you expecting in these next 4 games?
So I did this. I was on Paxton Road the other day and we went through these games. So I said, Brighton, I think we're going to get a draw, only because we've got a horrible record at Brighton. It seems to be like one of those grounds where we just don't get the job done. So I went for a draw. I think we're going to beat Leicester. And I actually think Harry Kane's going to score a few in that game because he always scores against Leicester. Always. Then Liverpool, I've said I'm saying a draw right now. That will be an unbelievable result if we can get that. And then who's the one after Liverpool?
Palace at home.
Palace at home we should do, and we always do them at home. It's the away game. So what's that? 3-6. I'm going for 8 points out of 12, which would be. I think that's acceptable.
I'll take that. that.
Right.
And finally, Brian, man the match today.
Without a doubt, Ollie Skip. without a doubt. Like I said, this guy is becoming like he's like a Michael Carrick. He just dictates the game. He's perfected the sliding tackle, which seems to be a lost art in football today. But he seems to have perfected it and brought it back. He is just going. He was probably our best player under Nuno, and he's just shining even more brighter under Conte.
Really is. Couldn't agree more. But Brian, always a pleasure speaking to you, my friend. Any parting words from you?
Only two.
Go on.
Levy out.
Big up, Brian.
Nice
See you soon, buddy. That is Brian Daigle, the great Brian Daigle, should I say.
Leicester 1-up again.
Oh, Leicester 1-up. Who scored?
Harvey Barnes.
Harvey Barnes, eh?
At Villa Park.
All right, Leicester are 1-0 up. But let's move on. And we have got Sean Butler coming on in a split second.
Sean, more to add, to be honest, boys.
Sean, how's it going, man?
Just want to say big up, Brian.
All right, and that is Sean, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on. Sean. Sean, how's it going, man?
Oh, wow.
You right?
Am I on?
You are, yeah, you're on, mate.
Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. I was looking at like 4 different versions.
Sean,
how you guys doing?
Yeah, all good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really well. Sorry, you caught me by surprise. I envisioned that there was going to be like 9 people in front of me because your background to your show holds people in. Before you get into the background, they have like a waiting thing, and then you think there's going to be 3 or 4 people before you, but suddenly it's me. So,
well, here you are, Sean. Here you are. How do you assess that game today?
All right, well, sort of 9 out of 10. You know, honestly, well, actually, let me take that back. I'm going to give Brian Daigle the 9 out of 10. He kind of stole everything I was going to say. I think Oliver Skipp was phenomenal. The one sad part was Harry Kane not getting his goal. You know, I was at the game on Thursday against Brentford. He looked like he was the missing piece. You know, when he had that through ball that he should have scored from, and he didn't. Harry Kane of last season would have scored that all day long, and I feel like his confidence has just been pulled apart. And today it was the only thing that was missing was him getting the goal. But today was a lovely goal. I don't know if you guys were watching the pre-show with David, but I did predict a 3-0. And
like myself, Sean, like myself.
Company there, Sean. You know, Conte, I'm just reading some quotes from Conte and Lucas Moura. He said he scored an amazing goal, but he has the quality to score even more goals. And he said it is my expectation for him to score more goals before the end of the season. Is he a player, Lucas? Obviously, we always have debates on this show specifically about Lucas Moura and his qualities. But what did you make? Obviously, a great goal today, but is that something we should be seeing more of from Lucas?
If we could see more of that level of quality, yeah, I mean that would be an ideal scenario. I think we've always, the few times that I've been on the show, we've always spoken about how we all rate Lucas as sensational talent. The only thing that's ever let himself down is his final pass, or potentially his inability, not inability, but his lack of willingness to have a crack, right? Like he doesn't shoot or have a crack enough. Today was just, all of the things that we always knew he could do coming together at the same time. And I couldn't be happier for him. It was the first moment that I feel like he showed his clear, or the maximum star that he could show since the Ajax night. You know, that night in Ajax, when this was the first moment when he did that thing again for the first time. And so,
do you reckon Conte can get more goals out of him?
Yeah, 100%. I think all he's ever needed is someone to put his arm around his shoulder and say, "Hey, when you get the ball in those final moments, stop looking to pass it to Sonny or Kane to take the pressure off. Have a crack, mate. You have my. I'm giving you my faith and my trust in you." And I don't know if Nuno or Mourinho ever did that, because he's got all the potential and all the talent in the world, you know. And today proved it. But for whatever reason, in the past, he's got in the positions, and he's always then looked to give it to someone else to finish the move off. And today he didn't, and it was great to see.
Sean, Reguilon goes off injured early today, albeit he says on Twitter today that he doesn't think he should be out for too long and not to take him out your fantasy teams.
Conte also, by the way, confirming it's not a bad injury.
Oh, and Conte also confirming it's not a bad injury. But the player I want to talk about is Ryan Sessegnon. Came on. What did you make out of his performance today?
You know what? It was. I think he was flawless. Essentially, like it was one of those weird things where I think everyone, myself massively, have always been talking about the right side, right? Like who's the best? Well, it is no one like Doherty. Do I like Romero versus whoever else? On the left, it's always been a safe bet. Reguilon, and no one's ever really kind of fathomed what do we look like if Reguilon gets injured. Today we had to deal with that, and Sessegnon's come back, and I know he's had his own injury problems, but today I thought he looked the real deal. I couldn't fault anything he did. I thought he was brilliant. I hope that Reguilon's not out for a long time. Listening to what you're saying, I haven't seen those comments, but you know what? It's great to know that if Reguilon is injured, or if he's out for a while, or even if he's not, if he drops in form, it looks to me like if Sessegnon can stay injury-free for a while, then as far as today's performance, I thought Sessegnon was great. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I thought I personally think that that's probably Sessegnon's most accomplished display in a Spurs shirt. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think he showed the most quality today, and I was very happy for him because, he had a big opportunity against Mura, and kind of, him being sent off in the first half an hour, that was like a big opportunity missed for him. And we all thought after that game, when's the next opportunity going to come for him? But luckily for him, or unluckily for Reguilon, obviously came today. But I think he grabbed it with both hands. I really did, and I'm very so happy with him because there's a lot of doubters, for Sessegnon for a very long time, and obviously, it's only a game against Norwich, but just to see him show that he can play that left wing back role effectively, even at this level, was very pleasing to me, and I hope to see more of him playing like this.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
What do you think overall, though, of the game in terms of, Dean Smith said after the game at 1-0, he felt Norwich were the better side, and he felt Norwich were very unlucky not to get anything out of the game. What did you make of that?
I only managed to capture the last 20 minutes of the first half. Trying to access the stream through Peacock TV, it was a nightmare. And so I didn't see the first 20 minutes of the first half. From what I saw when we were 1-0 up, I actually would happen to agree with him. I thought second half of the first half that Norwich had the vast majority of the possession, and at least from the first half perspective, I didn't see us do anything. Right, so I was. I was happy to see the scoreline, but wasn't particularly impressed. But second half, I think when we got the second goal, everything became far more easier. And I think that's the testament of a good team now that we didn't have last season. That the problems we had under Mourinho were when we went 1-0 up, we would then look to sit back and absorb and defend and protect, and it never worked out. Mm-hmm. And under Nuno, we never really went 1-0 up that often. So we were, it was a different kind of problem. But under Conte, we go 1-0 up, and then we push on for the second. And then once we get the second, we suddenly have the confidence to be able to then not just protect, but exploit. And like I say, again, we're in a fortuitous run of games where the competition isn't. It's not like we've done this against Chelsea or against City or against Liverpool, etc. So it's difficult to really articulate what level we're at the moment. But the way we've handled today, the way we've handled Brentford, and I think the way we probably would have handled Burnley would have us all very positive. I think the real challenge starts arguably Leicester. Hopefully Brighton away is going to be it's going to be more of a challenge than today. But I like what we're doing. I just think that it's better than what we've had done under Nuno and Mourinho, a better style of controlling the game. But the real challenges are coming later this month.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, with the last 3 games we've won, the back-to-back 3 wins, Leeds, Brentford and Norwich all at home, you really expect maximum points from those 3 games, don't you? And, the next 4 games ahead, like you say, Brighton, Liverpool, Leicester and Crystal Palace. I mean, we're really going to see where we're at after those 4 games. But how many points are you expecting from those 4 games?
Sorry. The 4 games are who? Sorry. So it's Leicester, Liverpool, Brighton who's
and
the
Palace.
fourth? And Palace. I would say, so 3 points Brighton. I think we'll get 0 from Liverpool. I think we'll get 7 points from those games. I think we'll beat Palace. I think we'll beat Brighton. I think we'll draw Leicester, and I think we'll lose to Liverpool. Unfortunately, but I'd say 7 points, and I'd be happy with 7. Anything more than 7 is a good return from those 4.
Yeah, completely agree.
Do you think we're in a top 4 race right now, Sean? Or is it too early to say that?
I think we're in a top 4 race, but I think we're also in a mid-table race. I think that there's West Ham, like the top 3 are obviously miles above. Like there's no catching those 3 this season. Anyone from West Ham, I think you have West Ham, I think you have Everton, Leicester, Arsenal, Spurs, and Man United. I think there's probably 6 or 7 teams that are fighting from 4th down to 11th. And I think that we're all in that race, and I think that we'll finish somewhere in the top 3 of those. I think we'll finish somewhere between 4th and 6th. But yes, we're definitely in a top 4 race, but we're also in a race for anywhere else below it. Like it's pretty hard to predict, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does make sense. It does make sense because I feel a bit similar. But just before you go, who was your man of the match today?
Skippy, 100%.
Has to be, doesn't it? Has to be.
And Brentford, I think the boys just flourishing, are thriving, and it's an amazing thing to see. It's so cool to see this kid who he breathes the energy and the excitement. It's infectious, and like I just love it. And more if the more that it comes from him, the better we can be. It's really cool to see this guy just grow week in, week out. It's awesome.
Absolutely spot on, Sean. Thanks a lot for coming on today, my friend, and we shall see you next time.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Sean, good to see you, mate.
Up the Spurs.
Up the Spurs.
I believe the press conference come through. Shall we get it live on the show?
I've forwarded it to Jake. I guess, we can do when...
All right, we'll get it prepared for you and play it live on the show. But without further ado, let's go to... Come on, Cody.
How are you?
Yes, Cody.
Long time since we sung your song, Cody.
Yeah, that's all right. You know what? Good steps in the right direction today. The scoreline may have flattered us a little bit, I thought. Norwich almost having 60% of the ball, but, we did enough to get the job done. It kind of feels like almost Conte is treading water, just trying to figure out how best to cover up our weaknesses as a squad. And you have to hope that in January we might get a little bit of reinforcements. But overall, a 3-0 win at home, 3 big points. Every match is important right now, and we need to bank as many points as we can during this very busy month.
Yeah, 100%. But in terms of today's performances, there was some good individual performances, maybe from players we don't necessarily expect it. Sessegnon came on, had a really good game. Obviously, Ben Davies continued his sparkling form. Sanchez had another good game. Who did you pick out as players that impressed you today?
Well, I mean, like Sean was saying, Oliver Skipp was fantastic today, just an absolute force. It seemed like he was everywhere, making sliding tackles and gaining possession, and even had a hand in that 3rd goal. But everybody kind of had their moments at times during the game. Ben Davies, what is going on with this guy? Like, he looks... There's a term in baseball when a hitter is on a hot streak, they say he looks hitterish. And honestly, every time Ben Davies has the ball in the final third, he's looking very hitterish. He looks like a dangerous player, and it's something that I don't think anybody could have predicted. And it's long may it continue, because it seems like Conte's found the perfect role for him. And let's face it, with Reguilon picking up a knock today, Ben Davies is suddenly a player that we're now relying upon almost every game. So he was very impressive.
How do you solve this Reguilon situation? Just talking about Reguilon, a bit off topic, but how do you solve this situation for Thursday night? Because obviously Reguilon probably a bit too soon for him to play Thursday night. Sessegnon is suspended. Do you play Davis at left wing back?
Yeah, you probably have to. I mean, the only other option you could really picture is you have seen Matt Doherty play left wing back for Ireland at different times, so he could be an option. It's not really looking great, our prospects for the Europa Conference League at this point. Rennes are a very difficult team. We saw how physical they were in the first leg. We have the upper hand being at home this time, but it's different. Like you guys are the perfect example of like how the opinion is split amongst the Tottenham fan base as to how seriously we should be taking this tournament. But now we're a little bit hamstrung with Reguilon being injured, and you have to assume that Emerson has also picked up a knock, not being on the bench at all today. So for a coach who relies on those wingback positions to run the offense through, it might prove very difficult for us on Thursday night. But I personally hope, obviously, like all Spurs fans should hope that we win. I mean, I know that some people I get the impression from some fans that they'd rather just be out of this competition, as we don't really seem to have the depth to be fighting on the various fronts. And but if we can just kind of scrape by Rennes on Thursday and then maybe get a couple of players in January and increase our squad depth a little bit, you never know. I would certainly take a Europa Conference League trophy at this point. I'd take any trophy, really.
Beggars can't be choosers, hey, Cody? But, moving on to the rest of, the next 4 games, the last 3 games, really winnable games, which you expect us to take all 3 points in. But the next 4 games, I mean, we're really going to see where we're at as a football club right now. How many points do you see us picking up over the next 4 games?
I think Sean was pretty spot on in predicting that 2 wins, a draw, and a loss. I really don't see if we're going to have a performance like we did today. A team like Liverpool are going to absolutely punish us, because Norwich did have their fair share of chances, and that was reflected in the expected goals tally there. I think they racked up 1.3 xG, and let's face it, a little bit more quality, and they would have punished us for sure. We can't play like that against Liverpool. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining when we can bring our sort of B- game and be able to take care of a lesser opponent like Norwich. But we need our best foot forward if we're going to even stand a chance against Liverpool. And I just feel like our limitations are too much right now. So I can't really go out on a limb and say that we can go and beat Liverpool, who are absolutely flying right now, among the class of the league, if not the class of the league. So 7 points, I think, would be a pretty decent return. Leicester have been very hit and miss, but we're very hit and miss as well. So you never know what's going to happen when you go away to Brighton. They've been very sneaky and very oddly clutch here in the last few weeks, scraping out draws at the death with Neil Maupay seemingly coming of age. A little bit of a late bloomer, but I'd be happy with 7 points. Anything more than that would be fantastic.
And in terms of Harry Kane, another blank by Harry Kane today. But how did you assess his performance on a whole?
I actually thought he was really bad. It might not be a very popular opinion, but I thought he was one of our worst players on the pitch. Tanganga didn't really put his best foot forward, but Tanganga is a young player with an obvious ceiling at the moment. Kane, we know what he's capable of doing. So to be watching him kind of bungle these various opportunities that he's given. Now, the last half hour, he kind of perked up a bit and forced a very good save from Tim Krul and had a very powerful shot off the left side. But in general, he needs to be finishing his chances and taking them with aplomb. And we're not seeing that right now. It's a very kind of odd state that we find our squad in at the moment, with some of these players who we know have like very finite limitations kind of playing out of their skin. And then other players who we know have that world-class ability kind of playing at a very low level. So if Conte can start to draw out and rehabilitate the confidence and touch of Harry Kane, we might be a force to be reckoned with this year. But make no mistake, if we're going to make a charge at top 4, we need Harry Kane to be firing on all cylinders, and he clearly showed again today that he wasn't doing that. I thought he was better against Brentford personally, and let's just hope that he gets it going, because we need him.
What do you put it down to, though? Do you still think he has an eye on the exit door? Is it just lack of confidence? What do you put it down to with Harry Kane at the moment?
I think when you're accustomed to playing at a certain level, and let's face it, Harry Kane's level is world class, it takes a certain amount of hard work and effort to maintain that class. And there's no question in my mind that Harry Kane took his foot off the gas for a second in the summer and was not happy with not being able to force a move away, and however you want to put it. And when you're competing at the very top level of football in terms of individual performance, you simply cannot afford to take your foot off the gas. And I think Harry Kane is finding it very difficult to find his foot on that pedal again. That's just one of the things when you set your bar that high, you have to continue on, and you have to be as hardworking every single day. There's no room for look at Cristiano Ronaldo at 36 years old. He goes out, scores a brace. What does he do? He goes and trains again after the game, and that's the level of commitment that it takes to maintain that class, and it takes a long time to get back after you take your foot off the gas. So I think hopefully it's just a matter of time for Kane. I don't want to think the worst and think that this might end up being a lost season. 1 goal in 13 games now. It's just not good enough from Kane. But I do think that since Conte's arrival, we've seen a definite change in demeanor, attitude, body language, and application. And for me, if he can just find his foot on the gas pedal again, he will get back to form, and we'll see the Harry Kane that we've been accustomed to.
All right, Cody, always a pleasure to speak to you, my friend, and hopefully we'll get to speak to you again very soon.
Nice
All right,
Cody.
guys.
Good to see you, mate.
Glory, my friend.
Love it.
I think we've got the press conference. Is that right? All right, let's
listen to what Conte has to say.
Let's listen to Conte.
Congratulations, Antonio. I was just wondering, I know it's not the normal way to start a press conference, but I want to ask you about one player in particular. It's probably not the one you're expecting. Ben Davies played a big part in 2 of the goals today. He seems to really fit that back 3 and the left-sided player getting up and down the pitch. What have you made of him since you arrived at the club and today's performance?
Yeah, you are right. You're right, because Ben is playing very well, and I think that that role specifically, I can get out the best of him, and it happens the same, no, with Aspiculeta, and I think the 3 central defenders. It's important to be good defensively, but at the same time, for me, it's important to play football, to play and to have the personality, and to play the ball, and also when you find a team that is defending low, and also to play and to go is very important in this system. And then I need to have players with personality, to play the ball, and also to be offensively. And Ben is one of these type of player. He's showing great solidity, also defensively, and he's playing very well. I'm happy for him, but we are talking about a really good person, a really good guy, and he's always very focused, concentrated, and yeah, he played well.
Okay, Jerry Cox, please.
Hi, Antonio. Congratulations today.
Thank you very much.
The crowd was singing your name at the end. It's been a long time at Tottenham since the crowd really took to a manager like that. Do you feel at home immediately?
Yeah, honestly, first of all, I want to tell thanks to all the fans that signed my name. In one end, I'm very happy. I'm very enthusiastic for this. In the other end, I have I feel a lot of responsibility. I feel a lot of responsibility and towards our fans, and I think they trust. They trust a lot in my work, and to listen my name it was good also because I have just arrived only 1 month that I stay here, and for sure I have this responsibility to to deserve this name, and maybe it's too much early, and I want to show that in the future to deserve this. I think the good result help you, but I want to deserve that the fans, if it decides to sign to sing my name for my work, for my totally involved in this club, in this situation.
Okay, Jonathan Veal, please.
Hi, Antonio.
Hi.
Lucas Moura scored a great goal. I was wondering if I could hear your thoughts on his goal and his performance overall.
I think he scored an amazing goal, but he has the quality to score more goals, and he has to score more goals in the rest of the season. And we need of this type of situation. Is very good. I think in front we have a great quality with strikers, important strikers, and Lucas has great quality, and surely my expectation to see much more goal after this, like this. Yeah, but good performance with the ball, without the ball.
We've only got time for one more, I'm afraid. So it'll be Zaya Adnan, please.
Hi, Antonio. Congratulations on the win. Can I ask you about your views on Ryan Sessegnon's performance? Now, he was on loan to Hoffenheim last season. He came back. He's a relatively young player. What do you think of his performance today?
Yeah, and in one end, I was a bit disappointed for Sergio, no, for the injury, but I spoke with him, and we don't think this a bad injury. And in one end, I was disappointed not to make a substitution, but in other end, in this type of situation, you have the opportunity to see during the game from the start, maybe 20 minutes to go, no? Not 20 minutes at the start, and Sessegnon came in. I think he played a good game. I'm sure that he can do much better, and he has quality. He has a player that a great power, and he's strong physically, and he need to take confidence. He need to take confidence with the atmosphere, with the stadium. And Sesse is a young player, but if you stay in a squad of Tottenham, it means that you deserve to stay here, and you have to show that you deserve this. I think that he played a good game, but he has to improve like the other players. And today, at the end, I'm pleased because I have seen him for 75 minutes, and he played a good game. But I know that he can do much better because he has good quality physically and technically.
Perfect. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that was Antonio Conte press conference. Every word he said on the victory. But the words he was talking about Lucas Moura, that just basically just echoing pretty much what we say about him on a weekly basis, isn't it? Because,
yeah, he's got so much quality.
You know, the guy's got so much quality. He shows so much quality on the ball, but he should be doing so much more with what he has.
Mm-hmm. He has the ability to be scoring. Like, obviously he's not Eden Hazard's level, but always something I said about Eden Hazard there. Like, obviously he's a world-class player, but like with his qualities, he should be easily hitting between 15 and 20 goals a season, and sometimes he didn't hit that.
Yeah.
And with Lucas, you know, sometimes he doesn't even get 5 goals in a season. And for someone of his ability, especially dribbling and in front of goal, even shooting ability, he should be easily hitting 10 goals. That
He should be getting
easy.
15 goal contributions, goals and assists every single season.
Premier League, in the Premier League, 100%. No doubt about it. He has that ability. So that's why we get frustrated when, you know, consistently he's
goal, Aston Villa.
Yeah, Villa have gone 2-1 up. Yeah, Jacob Ramsey scored. That's why we get frustrated with Lucas when he's not over a season. You know, you end a season and he's like got like 3 goals and 2 assists or something.
Yeah, and all those 3 goals coming in one game.
Exactly, and you're thinking, why? Why is he not consistently scoring or even just regularly? Not even doesn't have to be consistently, but like that's his first goal since February. You know, we're nearly in January.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who was that against, that February goal?
Was it Burnley or something,
Burnley.
or Palace? One of those games. I'm not sure, but or West Brom maybe. But that should never be the case with someone like Lucas, and that, I think Conte is absolutely right, and in saying he should be scoring more goals, and I expect him to score more goals, and I think that's 100% right. And it's interesting as well, hearing him talk about Ben Davis, comparing him to Azpilicueta. That's a comparison that I made very early on when Conte came. I thought because I saw very similarities in how they play. And he's saying that he sees also the similarities. So maybe he's been watching the show. But I think that Davis is playing really well. And I think in that kind of... what were they VARing here? Sorry. In that kind of role, I think it suits Davis to a T. I think it really suits Davis to a T.
Yeah.
So I think he's, as I've said, he's very comfortable defending on the left-hand side. He's comfortable going forward untracked, and he's very hard to pick up, and he has a bit of quality about him as well. 2 assists today as well. A long way to continue for Ben Davis.
Definitely.
And Sessegnon as well, he was complimenting.
Yeah, and you know we've given Sessegnon enough praise on this channel for this game, but you know I've always said about Sessegnon, I've never seen him produce anything in a Spurs shirt, and today was maybe the birth of Ryan Sessegnon potentially, really could be. But let's go on, let's keep getting some more guests on, and let's go to the Jorical, people. Jory, I made sure I went to the loo when the press conference was on, just so that I would be here for every single word that you say today. You're on mute. You're on mute.
That's great, Ben. I'm very grateful that you're going to be here for the whole thing. So,
how you doing, Jory?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm loving what I'm seeing, man. I sent you the super chat. I beg to differ, guys. It's clear to me I already thought that Conte was the best manager before we got him. My only slight reservation in terms of Conte was I thought maybe it was a bit too defensive and too destructive, maybe, or like kind of like a Mourinho thing. But what we've been seeing in our club is none of that. You know, he's defensively solid, but the tune he's getting out of this squad are like. I'm sorry, Pep and Klopp and whoever, they have never gotten this kind of a tune out of these kind of players. They've always had better players. Even Klopp's Dortmund, I would say, were better, or at least more Maverick type players than we have. We have like an old bicycle, and we're winning the Tour de France with it. It looks like, you know. So. I think he's unbelievable, you know, and the way they're playing now is like one thing that was like has been a really hallmark of our style for a couple of years now is that once players got the ball, and especially if they got space with the ball, then they kind of didn't know what decision to make. Mm-hmm. That seems to be completely out of the game. They make a decision right away. It's contest drilled completely into them. Every scenario, if it's like this, then you do that. If it's like this, then you do that. And you can see it all over the pitch, you know. So, you know, and this game and last game, I've been struggling to decide who's going to be the player of the match because there's so many good players all of a sudden, you know. It's ridiculous.
Who did you decide on today?
Well, I would have to say only because I would say in normal circumstances I would give it to Skip, and he's a very close second. But I would today I would give it to Mora because I felt like that was the key element that we needed to unlock was our attack. Basically get the goals going. And Mora was very instrumental in that. Apart from scoring an amazing goal himself. So, like, I felt like that was the hurdle that we still had a bit of a problem with in general, and now hopefully we've kind of released it. I think in that term, like the forward, like the way all the players were going forward, and once again the left wing was our dominant wing going forward. For the match before that, it was the left wing as well. I didn't manage to call in there, but if I had, I would have given the play of the match to the left wing there. I'm like Ben Davis, man. What's happening? It's unbelievable. We've all of a sudden gotten this 50 million pound wing back in a player we were about to give away for free. So that might be a bit hyperbolical, but he's looking like he's been doing this for a long time. It's not even like the one game or anything. He looks like he completely knows what to do in these situations. So and the same, I want to give a shout out to Cess. I agree with you guys. This is the best we've seen. And this game kind of maybe answered what many of our fans have been like. Why are we hanging on to this player forever and whatever? And you can see it in this game. You can see, wow, this player really has a lot of potential and a lot of skill and strength and all of the stuff Conte just mentioned in the conference. So it's quite amazing. Yeah.
And Jory, you've been one of Lucas's biggest advocates on this channel. Obviously, he's got an unbelievable goal today. Conte saying in his press conference he would like to see, he expects Lucas to be scoring a lot more goals with the quality he's had. What do you make of those comments and his performance today?
Yeah, I think it's so funny with us fans, because I think what you guys, when you have been criticized, like the classic Sim versus John discussion, I think you're both basically, or all of us are basically talking about the same things. What frustrates you and even me, but probably you guys get more annoyed by it than me, maybe, is that you see all the skills, all the tools, and they're all there. They're all world class, basically, and dribbling, you could even make a case for him being elite, and so what it comes down to is that Lucas, the only thing Lucas needs to do is he needs to have a couple of fixes in his head. It's all in the head. You don't need to work on anything else. So it seems so close, but yet so far with Lucas all the time, So and I think if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Conte. And I think also, I do believe that Lucas, what confuses, because I do think Lucas is a very, very loyal, very good, but maybe also a little bit simple guy. And I do think he has been pressured and confused by the whole Kane-Son dynamic, and probably Kane. I think, to be honest, guys, I think Kane has has had too much of a say in the forward stuff. I'm not trying to knock Kane or anything. I just think that Kane also had a vote in these matters. Kane should just be a player like anybody else, and if he's that, I think we'll get the best out of all of them. Not only Kane, and not only Son or whatever. So Yeah, I think Lucas is probably in for a really good year this year in terms of goals and all that. What me and John maybe and other morosexuals see or think is very important around Mora is that so much of his pressing, interruption, holding up, like there's so much that's the starting point will be Mora, or not, if not the starting point, then the really the pivotal transition, whatever. So we see a lot of value in him there as well. But I've always been aboard with it's very frustrating seeing Mora not finishing more, because he's got all the skills to do that, so yeah. So I mean, the only really the only bad news I would say is kind of like Kane. Of course, it's a little bit sad, because I feared this. I've been on about it for a long time, and I completely want to agree with Cody Mack here. I definitely think it's exactly what he said. It's like Kane has been driving himself at an elite level, and now he stopped doing it. He had the whole incident. He was his head was out of it. He was pissed at Levy, rightfully so, and so on. And now getting back to that, it's like we've seen it many times. A lot of players never get back to that, and I personally think we'll never see that Kane again. We'll see a top player again, I'm sure, but not that Kane. I don't think so. I think that was the best, and we have to be. And I'm saying that because we have to accept and be happy with Kane at a lower level. Even a lower level of Kane is still an amazing player. So. But then, I could, for me, definitely, if we could still manage to convince City to give us Kane money, I would go there in a heartbeat, and then get a Dusan and somebody else in for that money. But I'm also happy with those three guys. I think those three guys, if Kane just gets completely back in form or to his top form, whatever that is at this point, and Conte gets the time to work with that forward situation. I think we'll see a complete renaissance of our attack. We'll be seeing a lot of Reggie goals, a lot of Ben Davies goals, a lot of I think Conte will use these guys simply to tie up the defense, and then he will demand from the lesser scoring players to go into space and utilize it. So. Yeah.
Well, Jory, let me ask you this on Harry Kane. Obviously, it was quite evident that he wanted to leave in the summer because the club wasn't going in the right direction, and we weren't going to be fighting for any big trophies that he deserves to be winning, the Premier League, the Champions League, this kind of thing. Do you think that anything's changed in his mind in terms of him thinking that Spurs can fight for these kind of titles?
I mean, yeah, I think so. And I would think, I can see, just like you can imagine, like the whole thing with Levy, it can be hard to hang around that and get over that, So I can see that could possibly be a reason why you would still want to go. But sporting wise, football wise, he should definitely be up for it. And also from the board's point of view of bringing Conte in is also, of course, a statement of ambition from the board's point of view. So all of that, I can definitely see him. And I wouldn't he said some statement a couple of weeks ago about him now, like things have changed in his mind, But I just think whatever you want to do, Kane, that's fine. But this club is not about Kane. You will be a top player in this club if you're here. But, I think definitely, and I said it at the time, I thought it was really the wrong thing to do by Kane. We should have helped make that deal happen since he wanted it. And I always wanted the best for him. I can definitely see the logic from his point of view of going to a City. As I still think Man City's would be a dream team for Kane in terms of him achieving his goals, and of course title is obvious, but also his personal goals. I think Kane will score even more goals in a Man City team than Tottenham. So but either way, like I just feel like now we're working with the situation I want the most, which is it's a holistic thing, it's a team thing, and if you're in doubt, look at Ben Davies, look at Eric Dyer, I've given in no amount of abuse through the years. I have cursed that guy more than probably anybody in our team, and he's been rock solid. He's been full of maturity, full of like really instrumental in our build-up play now, and it's absolutely unbelievable what a manager can do, and I also think, like, watching Conte now, I also realize how much really Mourinho got out of our players, even though Conte is by far next level. The losing Mourinho and then the situation with Nuno, but even before that, just when Mourinho was getting through to them, we saw again these players outperforming what they can do without a coach. These players are nothing really without a great coach, but they're so much more than I ever believed they could be with this great coach. So I'm stoked to bits, and I think we're a serious force to be reckoned with. Because we got the whole transfer window to come, and there's no way we're not spending. I think that's gonna. I can't believe. Even like I hesitate because I know it's Levy, but there's no way Conte is gonna, and even Paratici, they're not gonna let that happen. They're definitely gonna bolster whatever they think needs bolstering. So I think we are really a force to be reckoned with this season.
All right, Jory, always a pleasure,
Yes.
my friend, and we shall speak to you next time.
Jory.
Great insights
All right,
as
take
always
care,
from the
guys.
Joracle.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
Do you want to hear a fun Ben Davies stat?
What's that? What?
Do you want to hear a fun Ben Davies stat?
Always, mate.
Ben Davies has had more shots in the past 4 games than he has in the whole of last season.
I thought I was going to see like in the whole of his Spurs career. Put
Yeah,
together
but
or
honestly,
something.
yeah, probably. He had 4 shots in the last 4 games, and he only had 3 the whole of last season.
But none of them are on target, right?
Don't know. None of them have been on target. Well, we had more shots anyway.
All right, great. We've got an absolutely humongous super chat from Sean Butler saying,
Unbelievable,
big up,
Sean.
lads. Love what you're about. We love what you're about, Sean, as well. So
Sean,
thank
man.
you
Much
so
appreciated.
much.
That really is much appreciated.
Exactly, and keep coming on the pre-match pump-up and giving David Harris all the biggest.
Give him a hard time. Don't let
keep
him
giving him hard times, man. Keep giving him hard times. Never let him off. And talking over the Irish Hotspur, let's bring him on. Dave, how's it going, man? Mute.
No, it's not me.
Oh, you're not on mute.
No,
You're
I'm not
on
on
mute.
mute. I'm just a badge, lad. I'm absolutely loving life. Top. I'm absolutely loving life. I mean, look, we went on a hunting expedition today, and we came back with 3 canaries. I mean, absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, how do you assess the performance as a whole today?
Look, I thought the first 5-10 minutes sloppy enough, but then we really did get into the game. I thought we were creating chances. I mean, Lucas Moura's goal, I mean, that was something else. I mean, he sent 6 lads on a day trip back up to Norwich there, absolutely, and then thunderbolted it into the top corner. I mean, what a beautiful goal by Lucas Moura. I thought that we rode out the half well. Second half was a bit concerning. I mean, I seen Dyer doing a couple of touches at walking pace. I knew a couple of mistakes were going to happen from there. Bit dodgy for 10 to 15 minutes, few sloppy passes. But then, look, Davinson Sanchez absolutely ballooned one in from 6 yards. And then, we took control of the game there. And I'm happy with the result today, to be honest with you. I mean, look, I know people may be giving out a bit about the possession stats, and they're saying on another day with a bit of quality, maybe with the chances, some of the chances they did have, the result might not have gone our way today. But look, this is a work in progress. Look, just remember back to a couple of weeks ago where we were under Nuno. We weren't creating any chances. We couldn't defend. We couldn't do anything in midfield. We looked so lackluster. I mean, you look at Højbjerg today. He turned into prime Pirlo. I thought his pass was there. I mean, Skippy. I just knew this guy would turn up today against his old teammates, and boy, did he. I mean, the energy that guy gives in midfield, even driving forward at times. I just thought all around we've seen a remarked improvement. Ben Davies, I thought, was absolutely excellent again, which I thought I'd never ever be saying. And if I'm big enough to criticize them, I have to be big enough to praise them, and he had a good game today. I thought Sessegnon came in, and it's the best game I think I've seen him in a Spurs jersey yet.
Yeah, I mean, and how important is it for these players like Sessegnon and even Doherty today, you have to say, I thought came on for half an hour or 20 minutes or so and actually gave a really good performance. How important is it when these guys get their chance, unlike against Mura, when, they give Conte no options but to carry on with the players he's picking, but to give them something to think about and come in and actually show they want to challenge for the first team?
Well, I mean, this is all we've wanted the last 2.5 years, isn't it? I mean, me and everybody else out there, every Spurs fan, whoever pulls on the jersey, we just want to see them take their opportunity. Every game you get, every minute you get is an opportunity. And that's all we wanted to see them do. The fact that Sessegnon has come in, especially after being sent off against Enes Mora, took his chance. It gives him a chance going forward again to get off the bench, and he just has to keep doing it to get into the team. Ben Davies took his chance in a couple of Europa League conference games, and now he's a mainstay in the back three. I'm absolutely delighted with him. You look at Tanganga, honest with you, I thought Tanganga was very poor today. I thought he was very poor. You could clearly see going forward that he was poor enough going forward in terms of he didn't really want to get crosses in the box. He kept on cutting back, and you really do notice the difference between Ganga and Emerson there at right wing back. But then Doherty came in, he played a good pass inside to Harry Kane. He got a shot off. And then Doherty also got a shot off himself. I mean, even Antonio Conte was laughing. He was like, honestly, my work is done here, Ben Davies could be top goal scorer this season. I mean, he's been unlucky. He's had a few chances this season. Doherty's coming on taking shots and looking like prime Cafu. You have Højbjerg turning into, you have Sessegnon coming on and taking his chance. I mean, Conte's absolutely laughing right now. This guy, everybody has to get behind this guy. What he's doing right now is an unbelievable job. It's magnificent. I mean, bringing in a goalkeeper coach, identifying Hugo Lloris, which is commanding his area from set pieces. Hugo Lloris has done that. We're not conceding from set pieces. We don't even look like conceding from set pieces. The way he's turned Højbjerg and Skip into a formidable duo, looked very comfortable on the ball in the last 2 games. He won to see more of that. How good he's turned Reguilon into going forward. I mean, 3 assists this season and a goal. Never thought we'd say that from Reguilon. Emerson, he was doing well on the right hand side. I mean, you look at Son, he scored again today. Absolutely delighted for him. Lucas Moura and Harry Kane. I know a lot of people I'm not sure what the situation is. Maybe criticizing him today. I'm not exactly sure. But look, for me, what I will say is he's getting more shots than what he usually is now, and eventually he will get the rubber to green and it will start going in.
Yeah, spot on, Dave. You're breaking up a bit there, so I think we're going to end it there. Yeah. But who was your man of the match just before you go?
Go on, I'll give it to Lucas Moura. I mean, how can you not roar?
Morosexuals in the house. Come on, the Irish Hotspur. Big up yourself. Another great show in the pre-match pump up again today, and we'll see you very soon.
Go over to the Irish Hotspur YouTube channel. Come on, everyone, go over and subscribe. Come on, get him to 5K if you haven't already.
Yeah. No, just quickly reach 5K today. I'm on 5,010 subscribers.
Congratulations, David. Big up to you, mate.
No, look, I really appreciate it, and I just want to say, a massive thank you to you guys who's given me this opportunity, this platform. I mean, I wouldn't be doing it without you guys. So a massive thank you for everything you guys have done for me. I mean, there's plenty of other people you could have given the opportunity to do the pre-match bump up. You gave it to me. I'm forever grateful. I apologize to everybody out there today with my computer and that. Don't worry. I have tracked the virus. It was the animal welfare, because we were talking about going canary hunting today. So they put a virus on the computer. I just want to say, honestly, and to the We Are Tottenham TV army out there, thank you so much for receiving me the way you have. I'm not going to take up any more time because I'm well aware it's not making good viewing right now with the cutting out. But as always, in Conte we trust. Come on, you Spurs, we are
Come
back.
on.
Big up,
Come
David.
on.
Big
Big up,
Let's
Dave.
get him to 10K,
Big up,
people.
Dave. Let's get him to 10K, exactly.
Come on. Lovely. Love it, David.
Just before we move on, first of all, there's a super chat from the True Sets Free saying, this is for Bob Spur. Big up the Spurs community. And if you guys don't know, Bob lost his father very recently. Very, very sad. And he's going through a really tough time at the moment. He's lost quite a few family members in the last year. And he's set up a GoFundMe to fund the funeral. I've pinned it to the top of the chat. So please go and donate because it is a really good cause. And Bob Spur, he contributes a lot on this channel, contributes a lot throughout the Spurs community and the Spurs YouTube community. One of our own. He's got his own channel as well. So go over there and subscribe, Bob Spur TV. But do click the link that's pinned to the top of the chat. I think he's £500 or just about £500 away from the goal. So the amount of support he's got on there is absolutely unbelievable. I think £2,500 raised already for his father's funeral and all the costs and stuff like that. So really great work done from all the Spurs family in supporting Bob. But please carry on and let's get him to that goal. So the link is pinned to the top of the chat right now. So there it is. All right, let's go on to our next guest, who is Kuva.
Next guest or new host?
New host, yeah, he's the new host. Kuva, how's it going, man?
Mate?
Oh, it's going really well here. Thank you, lads. Yeah, it was a bit of an incident earlier, wasn't it? But tried to ad-lib it for you to
You've done well. You've done well, Kuva.
Did admirably, I think everyone can say. You've done a sterling job.
Thank you.
Very adaptable. Very adaptable.
What an enjoyable day all round, though. Otherwise, the feel-good factor with Conte's continuing. You can see it in the players. The fans are happy. We're going home with big smiles on our faces from the grounds, watching the game on TV. You're not nervous like you used to be. It's a relaxing watch at the moment. It's what we haven't seen for a long time. I think the only drawback on the game for me was Tanganga, and that's not disrespectful to him. It's just I simply think he can't play that wing back role. He is looking like a centre back.
Yeah.
I still think he's got a big future with us. Just not at wing back. It's more likely would make something out of a sort of Bergwijn type character there, because it's somebody with a bit of pace, bit of trickery, and can cross the ball. Other than that, it's all just happening. The only concern I have will be is going to be injuries. When you see Højbjerg pull up with a bit of a strain, and we realise
I think he just got hit in the goalies, really.
Oh well, let's hope it's that. I mean, it's only a question of time before he's going to get worn out, though, if he has to play all the games up until Christmas.
True.
That is the real concern for me, because it makes you wonder how much are we going to go for this Conference Cup on Thursday, because that's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, and we know Reguilon picked up an injury today. Conte is saying today that he spoke to Reguilon and they both believe it's not a bad injury. Reguilon tweeting out that he's only going to be out in a few days, and everyone should not take him out of his FPL team. But how do you approach the game on Thursday with because Sessegnon's suspended? So do you play Davis there? Who are you thinking about playing at left wing back on Thursday?
It's an interesting one saying Davis there, isn't it? Because we wouldn't have dreamed that a few weeks ago. No chance. No, I have a feeling perhaps we should give Brian Hill a chance. It's a difficult one because we are lacking that sort of natural cover in positions. If Reguilon is injured, well, hopefully he's not. But if he is and Sessegnon's suspended, Ben Davies is not a natural sort of pacey player, is he? You wouldn't put him as an out-and-out winger. So the wing-back role really does favour that, especially in Conte's system. It is an attacking outlet. He's doing that attacking outlet from the left side of the centre halves, which is really amusing at times. But Yeah, we've got a problem with squad depth. That's what's going to derail this Conte project at the moment. That's why January is so important.
Yeah.
Use the introduction of just sort of 3 hardworking midfielders can cover a couple of positions. It's going to make a big difference. Kane, I thought, it was starting to look more like his old self today. There was one particular bit that grabbed me. It's like the classic sort of Harry Kane where he gets the ball when he's under pressure, and he sort of does that thing a horse does when he doesn't want a rider on it, just sort of shrugs them off, and then powers forward with it from outside the area, gets his shot away. And I was just thinking to myself, couple of seasons ago, that shot would have nestled in the bottom corner, and everybody would have been going, "What a great goal!" But today, unfortunately, it was straight at the keeper. I think the signs are there. He's on his way back, though. He's looking sharper than he has been. Long road back for him this season because he's got a lot of things to make up for in a lot of fans' eyes, and his own standards are dropped. He's not going to be happy with how he's performed. He's going to want goals.
Yeah,
so,
spot on.
It's all there. It's all there. Lucas Moura, I've been harsh on him. I've been very harsh on him because I think we should have been getting a lot more from him. I've always criticised him for not lifting his head. I don't know about anybody else, but I felt he was looking up a lot more when he was on the ball today. Much better awareness of who's around him when making the passes. I thought he had a very good game. He sort of just edged it for man of the match for me. Ben Davies definitely worth a shout because that was not a Ben Davies we recognise. Even when he first came,
get used to it, Kuva. Get used to it, my friend.
Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, the more players that Conte can bring forward and do this, the better. Because we can't buy up everybody in January. So
talking of Lucas Moura, Kuva, you mentioning him. What did you make of Conte's quotes about Lucas after the game, talking about how with his quality he expects him to be scoring a lot more goals? Is that something you expect from Lucas, or do you think we're ever going to get a consistent final product from him?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is one of the conversations we've had before. Lots of us, well, if not all of us. Personally, I think Lucas Moura's got the skill set to be one of the best players in the world. It's just we haven't seen it enough. He's not been consistent enough with that split second before he makes the decision to either pass it or shoot. And if Conte can get him into that mindset where that split second of calmness just before he makes his decision, we could be seeing a lot more goals. We could be seeing a lot more assists from him because the talent is definitely there. We all know this. Managers have often raved about how good he is in training and how much better than a lot of the other players he is technically. And we've seen the dribbling. If he can put it all together and just get that final product, we've got a hell of a player in our hands.
Definitely. And finally, these last 3 games, there's probably games where you really expect us to win at home to Leeds, Brentford and Norwich today. Next 4 games, a bit sterner tests in Brighton away, Leicester away, Liverpool at home and Palace at home. After those 4 games, will we really see where we're at? And how many points are you expecting?
They're a lot tougher games, aren't they? That little set. I wouldn't expect anything from the Liverpool game, to be honest. But it's a test to see how far we've come just developing the current squad that Conte's been working on. If we nicked a point against Liverpool, I'm really confident about getting top 4 then. But with in terms of the other teams coming up, Leicester, of course, aren't quite the same as they have been in recent seasons. Still a good side, still a lot of quality in their team. But I'll keep looking at them and thinking, is that the one that's going to trigger Harry Kane? Because he loves scoring against Leicester.
Yeah, that's what Brian Daigle said.
Yeah, it's true. The other ones, Brighton could be tricky. They play a very good game. They've become a little bit more solid this season. They seem to be condensing the midfield more, sort of pressing more in midfield at the expense of creating chances. They're relying on being more clinical up front. It seems to be working for them this season, but it also makes them harder to break down. So that could be a tricky game for us. again, they're another squad though that's, if they have a few injuries, they're paper thin as well. They won't be the same. So with a bit of luck, they'll have a busy few weeks ahead of them too, with the Christmas period coming up. Perhaps it will take its toll on them too. Who was the other one? So the big one I'll keep looking at is that West Ham game on the 22nd. I mean, that's the one where I want to see us really make our mark before Christmas. If we can do them over and just claim our place in the semi-finals, it's going to take a lot of their confidence away from them. And what a boost for us it will be. Bit of revenge through to the semi-finals of the Cup, something to wave in front of their face. And at that point, maybe we've nicked the fourth place spot off them as well. It'll be nice to wave at West Ham on their way down while we're on the way up.
That would be nice. That would definitely be nice. But Kuva, absolutely brilliant call as always. Thanks for the bit of presenting you did in the pre-match pump up as well.
Unplanned presenting.
What's that?
Glad to help.
Unplanned, yeah. But Kuva, thanks so much for coming on, and we'll see you soon, buddy.
Sean Butler says guest of the week.
Guest of the week.
Yeah, we sort of held the fort for a little bit there, didn't we? Sure. Okay, cheers, lads. Anyway,
thanks, Kuva. Cheers, mate. In a bit. Some brilliant work from you guys out there. Since I've spoken about Bob's GoFundMe, £200 has been donated. So absolutely top work, and about just over £300 until he reaches his goal. So please keep donating, and let's reach that goal today, guys. Let's reach that goal today. A super chat here from The Truth Sets Free saying, Kuva99, absolutely brilliant as always. Where do we find these great supporters? Legendary voice and perspectives all the time. Smooth as silk.
Absolutely spot on. And also, it's currently Villa 2, Leicester 1 at Villa Park.
How long to go?
Half an hour.
All right, enough for my 3 points. It's coming.
You reckon?
Enough time for my 3 points.
I'm not so sure, mate. If anything, Villa are going to get another goal.
As long as you don't get 5 points.
could be on for a third 5-pointer of the weekend. Oh, just to say that, I think they're going to score again, are they? No.
Stevie G's not doing a bad job, though, is he?
No, not bad at all. Could be 3 wins in 4 for them.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Talk and Ball.
How's it going, man? How are you guys? Oh, man, I'm jazzed. That win today was convincing. You know, it was a Spurs team. We haven't seen Spurs play like that in a long time. I'm over the moon. How about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the 3 points. I did get slightly worried at the opening stages of the second half until we scored that second goal, because I thought Norwich were growing in kind of influence. And, you know, but I thought we did well. We did well in the end. I thought first half we created a bundle of chances. Second half, I mean, it took us a while to get into it, but we got there in the end. And I thought it was pretty comprehensive victory in the end, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. With the way we were playing, I knew it was only a matter of time until Sonny got a goal, and I'm glad we got to see the Spider-Man celebrations. but no, as some other people were saying, I can't get enough of Ben Davies in this team. He is looking like, you know, just a completely different player. Yeah. He's so comfortable in that role, and I think it's going to be hard for anybody to take that spot off of him. He's just got such a unique skill set, you know.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, and do you see him as a potential long-term solution now in that role, or do you think it's too early to say
definitely.
That?
Well, I had thought that maybe in the January transfer window we would go for a center back to replace him, but with his play, I think that is no longer a priority in January. And if there was money to be spent on that position, we should use it somewhere else. Maybe a backup striker, or maybe even some more depth for Højbjerg. But yeah, I mean, it was. Speaking of Højbjerg, I really, really hope he's not injured. That would be catastrophic. But yeah, man. I think Ben Davies has a spot on lock for the rest of the season for sure.
Who individually impressed you today? You know, there are a lot of standout performances. Also, players stepping up when we needed them, like Sessegnon. Who stood out for you?
Well, I mean, obviously, I got to say Lucas. My main complaint with him is that he often just dribbles himself into trouble. Will dribble into 4 or 5 players and lose the ball. And today he seemed to have his head up. He seemed to see the passes, and some of the link up play was beautiful. So yeah, Lucas was great. I thought Skippy has been playing well consistently, and that's another thing that made me really happy. I knew he would do well against Norwich just because he knows the team and their players pretty well. But yeah, those two for me were probably my two favorite to watch. Shout out though to Sessegnon. When he came on, I thought he seemed a little nervous, probably from that red card and stuff. But he grew into the game well, and I'm happy that we've got what seems to be two really good options on that left wing back role. So.
But what two good options on the left wing back, but Tanganga starts on the right wing back and he had to be taken off.
Tanganga doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't really, to me, have the skill set needed to be that wing back in Conte's system. He's just not. He doesn't have the pace really, and he's also a little rash sometimes. He's gives away kind of a lot of fouls, but. Yeah, he just doesn't really fit. I see him more as a center back in Conte's system.
And so, would you like to see maybe Doherty, with Emerson's absence, maybe get a run out there? He looked all right when he came on, didn't he, today?
He did. We always called, Poch was always called the fullback whisperer. Maybe we need to call Conte the wingback whisperer because he's getting in tune out of some of these players. I mean, even Reguilon, we already knew how good he was, but he's really just kind of exploded. And yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing. Loving it.
Another blank today from Harry Kane. We've got a lot of polarizing opinions today on his performance on the channel with all the call-ins. What did you make out of his display today?
I mean, he's doing some things well. He's linking up okay. He's really hard to bully off the ball. He always is, and that's always helpful. It's always nice to have a player that can kind of keep possession in the opposition half. But at the end of the day, he's our striker. And he's paid to score goals, and we're going to need him to. I'm really happy though that we have a squad where the goals are being spread out, and we're not just relying on Kane to score. We can score without him. But yeah, I mean, if your striker is not scoring goals, he's not doing his job. I can't say anything super great about him. He didn't look bad, and I think he's improving. I think with each and every game, I think he's looking a little better, a little more like his old self. So hopefully it's just a matter of time. But yeah, today I would have given him probably a 6 out of 10, maybe.
It's gone under the radar as well though today. Another Premier League game where Ndombele's failed to get any minutes on the pitch.
Yeah, I fear for him.
Yeah, and in other regimes, under Mourinho, under Nuno, whenever Ndombele was left out, it seems to be a big story. But under Conte, no, it seems to go under the radar. But is that, do you think maybe in January he could be moving on? Do you see him somehow making his way into the team at all?
I don't really see him making his way into the team. But I also, moving him on is going to be hard. We know Daniel Levy doesn't like to take much of a hit on players' sales, and no one's going to be paying anywhere close to what we paid for him. I think our best bet would be to try to get him included in a swap deal of some kind. And I know in this post-COVID market where there's not as much cash flowing around that maybe we could see some swap deals. But yeah, I think that's our best way of getting some, anywhere close to his value out of him would be a swap deal, maybe with a team. Italy, I think his game would fit Italy and Spain a lot better, I think, than the Premier League.
All right, talking ball, great
yeah,
call.
Real quick,
go on.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I hate to do this, but I got to plug it. I've got a YouTube channel, a Spurs fan channel, and called Talking Ball, and I'm at 94 subscribers. I'm trying really hard to hit that hundo, just get that 100. So yeah, if anybody watching, it's a really chill, fun, laid back place. Always post the link so anyone can come and join in on the live streams. Yeah, Talking Ball is the name of the channel, and just come check me out. Thanks for having me on, boy.
Mate. Our pleasure. Go subscribe to Talking Ball, people.
All right, go subscribe to Talking Ball. Let's get him to 100 subscribers. And thank you so much for coming on, my friend. We'll speak to you soon.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Nice one, mate.
All right, let's keep going. Who is the next guest? Rambro.
Sorry? Last one.
Last guest of the day, Rambro.
Closing the show.
Rambro, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I believe. Is this the first time you're calling?
It's my first time with you guys.
Okay, because I see you in the comments a lot.
definitely.
Yeah, I've always got some rubbish to say, but yeah.
No, but thank you so much for the consistent support and constant support you give us. I always see you in the comments, so big up yourself.
Oh, yeah, cheers. Pretty much, being last now, everyone's pretty much said everything that I was going to say. So, but 3 points is always good.
Yeah.
We, as usual, make 3-0 look difficult as because we should have got 3-0 at a canter. The chances we gave up to them, we're going to get punished for in any of the upcoming games this month, because they've, Leicester, Brighton, well, maybe not Brighton because they miss a lot of chances too. Definitely Liverpool. They won't miss those chances. We've definitely got to tighten up our defense some kind of way. It's not terrible, but we kind of lucked out, or they were unlucky.
Yeah, because Dean Smith after the game was saying how he was frustrated because he feels, at 1-0 Norwich were the better team and Spurs kind of scored against the run of play to make it 2-0, and obviously we made it through to 3-0 in the end. But what did you make out of those comments? Do you agree with him? Do you think maybe we were a bit lucky at 1-0 to get the second?
We were a bit lucky. There were a couple of misses they had where the ball was spinning, so you can never know where it was going to go when it comes off your thigh or whatever. But there were a couple of times where they actually carved us open, and they were unlucky. Pookie should have had one in the first half. Mm-hmm. But I guess quality rises to the top in the end. Exactly. I didn't expect us to lose at all, but it was a bit worrying that we did allow ourselves to be opened up on occasion, and we gave them too much space and too much possession throughout the game, first and second half.
Yeah, is that an issue for you? Because obviously we gave away, I think they had around 65%, I think, in the end possession, which is a lot, especially when you're at home. But, sometimes you can control the game without possession, and you can kind of, on transitions, be very sharp, and you can spring on the opposition when they're kind of passing it around. And we did that quite a bit today. So does a lack of possession bother you, or would you like us to have a lot more of the ball?
Against a Norwich, I'd rather us have the ball than let them have the ball, because then they grow into the game, they get confident, and a shot off someone's backside when we're looking up at what happens. So I rather us against Liverpool, they're going to have the ball a lot. I don't mind that, so long as we're keeping up with the tempo and not getting cut open. So, yeah.
In terms of the outlook of the season now, I mean, we're a game in hand of being in the top four. Are we in a top four race this year, or is it too early to say or talk about that just yet?
We're in the picture, but it is still a little too early to say. I think we're improving in certain areas that if it continues this way, then we'll definitely be in with a shout. Certain players are blossoming under Conte, and we've talked about Davis earlier. He's just, what the hell's going on with that guy?
Man reborn.
Yeah, and I think Sessegnon is benefiting from the Conte effect.
Do you think Davis is proof that sometimes in these players it's just about finding their role, when people cast them aside and people say they're not good enough and stuff, but sometimes they're just it's about coaching, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about coaching. It's about knowing where the player is best utilized, not best utilized, but where they play the best. It might not be the place where they're best utilized. And that's what happens with some of these players, is that they get stuck in positions where they're not really that great. Look at Tanganga today, for instance. I mean, he was great against Man City opening day, but he's really not done it on the right wing back role since then. So, and you know, he'll be sitting on the bench waiting for a chance at centre back, which is his natural position. So yeah, I think someone like Davis is definitely benefiting because he's being played to his strength, and he's a left-footed player playing on the left side of a back three. He's doing his business, you know, and we shouldn't be surprised, but we are.
All right, Rambro, absolutely brilliant call. It's great to finally put a face to the name as well. So Rambro, keep up supporting us. Thank you so much for everything, all the comments that you're always leaving in with us.
All right,
and,
cheers.
We'll see you
Spurs.
soon. Up the
Come on, you
Spurs.
Spurs, mate. Cheers for calling.
Cheers, mate.
All right, and another quick update. Since I last gave you an update, another £75 has been donated.
Wow, come on, we are Tottenham TV army, man. Strong.
Absolutely strong, and now really not that far to go until we reach the goal. So please keep donating, guys. Keep donating. Let's get Bob to the goal that he needs for his dad's funeral. But look, thank you everyone for joining us today. That is the end of the fan show. We are on the march to 100,000 subscribers. So if you haven't, do smash that subscribe button. Just scroll down, cost you absolutely nothing, and just smash that subscriber button. But that is it from us today. Tottenham 3, Norwich 0. 3 back-to-back wins in the Premier League for Tottenham Hotspur since the first time since the opening 3 games of the season. So
Conte doesn't have long, so.
Exactly. But look,
I hope he doesn't get manager of the month. Please don't give a manager of the month.
But look, we'll see you all very soon. We'll be back tomorrow, 10:30 for Good Morning Tottenham, where we'll run down, look even further into this game than we have done today. Player ratings, 5 takeaways. So yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow. But thank you everyone today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.